Hi, my name's Adam. I've been in the industry for 23 years. I've had my own shop now for 13, 14 years. The company is probably about 18 years old. It wasn't always a bike shop, it was a market stall, my mum's front room, just helping friends on the streets in inner city Hackney. It's always been fun. I've loved working on bikes, I've loved playing with bikes, I've loved doing stupid things with bikes. I love bikes. It turns out I've serviced at this date probably somewhere around 60,000 bicycles with these hands. It's not necessarily something you want to think about too much. The pandemic has been horrendous for most people. We've had desperation from different angles of the community. There have been a lot of people very worried about their jobs. We've been having to be very creative about keeping costs down. Lead times for products have gone through the roof. We're looking at 6 month to 12-month waiting times now. So during the pandemic, been prioritising key workers, which has made myself and the staff very proud that we can contribute, working on bikes for paramedics and doctors and nurses, as well as teachers and police. The demand has skyrocketed, which is really good to see. We're doing what we can. It's really positive to see so many people on the street riding, also in the parks and the forests as well, getting out on their bike. Demand is going up because it's good for the environment, it's good for people, it's relatively cheap. It's also a mode of transport that's potentially sitting in people's garages or sheds waiting to be capitalised. While being in London, I think people are trying to avoid contact wherever possible. A massive interest for electric bikes as well. The future for me is more bike repairs, I would imagine. I'm currently trying to train up more mechanics because that's our biggest bottleneck at the moment, that with parts. We need perhaps more encouragement for young people to train as bike mechanics. It'd be nice to see some incentive in the industry, maybe through government incentives, to repair rather than buy new. That would be a good thing to push. You can find us online at www.perlierides.co.uk. Also, you can call us on 0208 525 5694. We can book you in for a service, and hopefully it won't be too long before we get a look at your bike. Thanks very much.
Hello. It's a camera.